Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Sally. What's up, Sally?
What's up?
Okay, so this is a continuation from the cast the other night. Well, in the wee hours of the morning, I guess, with me and Scott, and it created some comments, which is great open dialogue for us to continue the discussion. Um, Basically, in the Real Whovians cast, where we had the title ideas, we were throwing stuff out there if there was a Christmas special, blah blah blah. And I already informed Sally what fair what was talking about, so we can go on from there. So I said that if there was a thing like say a Christmas special, and let's say you know Matt Smith came to be again, like say there was a degeneration thing, maybe Gallifrey gave him like a wish or something, right? Like he would, the one thing the 11th Doctor would do would be to save the pawns, right? Because there was nothing else,
Right.
right? I mean, he was with Clara, whatever. So they already established Moffat had intentions of saving the pawns, even in Capaldi's era, where the whole beginning of the Return of Doctor Mysterio is that he's fixing the time distortion in New York so he could travel through time in that certain time period. Because it's established he can travel in New York, but not during that certain time period where the pawns are. So he can't have that. And we've always said this in the cast, that the way the Doctor is, nobody can tell him he can't not go someplace, right?
Right.
When they said that in Day of the Doctor, and Unit had created that TARDIS blocker, remember that? Where the TARDIS can't land with that stuff that they built, like they were thinking about building it around the Earth so the Doctor can't come anymore. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
like, for some reason, like a few of the Doctors knew of that, but it never got implemented, probably because the Doctor's making sure that doesn't happen, right? So,
Well,
of all in time and space, at any time period he can travel, he can't travel to where the pawns are in New York. I mean, yes, he could travel in Jersey, leave the TARDIS there, go pick them up, but he can't travel. So, it's bothering him. And plus, why would he want to travel to the time period if not to save the pawns? I mean,
right.
if he fixed the time distortion, he could go there, he could save them. So he's not just fixing it because, of ego and he has to just want to travel everywhere. He's fixing it with the intent to save the pawns. When the 12th Doctor came to be, he remembered Amy Pond. When they were in the restaurant with Clara, he said he missed Amy. It's on his brain in that incarnation. So that's why I said that that's one thing to save the pawns. Now, people like the argument of, oh no, they have to remain in the past, it alter the timeline. No, because it was clearly established. Yes, when the weeping angels touch you, you're trapped in the past and you become part of events. But there's an exception with time travelers already. And I don't know if it's because of the radiation, whatever, but if that was true, and if they were zapped in time, they had to remain, that would have meant that the 10th Doctor and Martha Jones would have had to stay in that time period, right?
Right. Yeah, because the poems, that's not a fixed point, so he can change it if he needs to, if he wants
Right.
to. Yeah.
And because he saved Martha, because she's with him, he's not going to be like, yeah, all right, I got the charge, but you got to stay behind because you're part of this. No.
No.
So the pawns don't belong there. So that's why, and plus they're filled with energy, not only time energy, like in other words, time radiation, but Amy has like the energy from the cracks because she can remember the both realities. The
Right.
reality when she had parents and she didn't have parents. And Rory too. So they don't belong there. And they gotta get out of there. And that's
Yeah.
the whole thing. Is like they have to get out of there because if you look at the episode by Chibnall, was it The Hungry Earth and whatever, the two-parter, right? They're technically in the future.
Yeah.
So even though it got altered that time where Rory was erased, and then you just saw Amy, if that was erased, that timeline would change and they wouldn't be there, period.
Yeah, 'cause that was the future, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in other words, certain things, when it's to do with the Doctor himself, that would mean his own timeline is erased. And you can't erase his own timeline because then that would cause his timeline to change. So in other words, yes, there are deviances like when Rory got zapped and erased, right? Because then you saw time fix itself and then it was just Amy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be fixed because she was still there, you know?
Yeah, she was still there, but also, and the episode after all that with Van Gogh, and he's telling her, I see you crying, and you're not happy. Something is wrong. She's like, no, I'm fine. But
But
he
she
could tell.
knows, like, there's that thing that knows that something
Right.
was changed,
He
right?
could tell that something wasn't right.
Right. But he knew that Rory existed because he's the Doctor and he was a higher form of, he could see time, but she doesn't.
Right.
And because the ring existed, that basically, a leftover from that means that he can exist if the ring exists, because that would be a paradox. Now, that's a whole nother discussion about how he exists and everything like that. I mean, you want to say that, Clara that was on Gallifrey grabbed Rory and made him an Auton and put him in an Auton because the Time Lord's on the other side of the cracks to help the Doctor, then you're going all crazy. I mean, we're not going to even go in there and not deal with that because technically Clara on Gallifrey is probably Gallifreyan and has regeneration energy. And that's a whole other topic. That she's probably the one that gave him unlimited regenerations because she was probably on the High Council. And they just, whatever, let's just not go there. But right now, let's stick with why the ponds need to be saved, right?
But, well, what about them having a son, too?
Well, here's the thing. I know, was it Chibnall that wrote that, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Now, technically, it is and it isn't canon. They put it out there for the fans, but that may not be canon completely. It could be like a Big Finish audio type of thing, where a writer later on could come on and fix it. So technically, it wasn't like, if it's not in the Doctor Who box sets, which I don't think it is, then it's not canon, as far as I'm concerned. So I did like that. I loved that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that overall, somehow, some way, and I don't know if Moffat would ever return, but I think that the ponds are going to be saved. And also, if you speak to Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill, they're on the impression that, because she even said she would free up her schedule and appear in Doctor Who beside Capaldi in an instant.
Oh, yeah, they're wanting to come back.
Right. And even though Arthur Darvill was doing Legends of Tomorrow, he's not doing it fully. So they would come back. So just keep that in mind, that it doesn't matter, there's different incarnations of the Doctor. We got Jodie Whittaker now. She could technically save the ponds. Although it probably would be awkward because it's a different Doctor, which is why you do a thing where you have a multi-Doctor story where Jodie Whittaker fixes the New York problem, grabs the 11th Doctor, they do an adventure, and then you see him go happily to the Victorian era to visit Vashtinal them. Because of Strax, he accidentally touches the memory worm, or whatever the thing is, and that whole adventure is erased from his head. And then he's instantly miserable thinking, boom, he lost the Ponds and he needs to retire. And that's what you do. That would work. You know. But also, too, Michelle Gomez had teased with the convention, like a wouldn't it be cool moment, but in a good way. She had a picture like, oh, look, I took the Ponds, haha, whatever. Just imagine if Missy was just screwing with the Doctor and, like, just freed the Ponds, but has the Ponds, and just encountered, like, the 11th, but then his memory got erased, Because there is ways about getting it done where it doesn't interfere with the timeline because, the memory worm could be the thing that fixes that, right? Also, John Hurt's existence,
Yeah.
They made themselves forget that he existed until, like, the 11th was like, oh, yeah. When he was in his own time stream with Clara, he's like, oh, yeah, that guy. It's like, oh, yeah, made myself forget that. Yeah.
I forgot about you.
He pushed the button. Yeah. Damn. It's like, and then it's like the cat's out of the bag, so John Hurt's got to appear. It's like whatever. So, but anyway, yes, that's why the Ponds need to be saved, is because they don't belong there in the first place. Now, there was some type of overall plot going on. Like, I would love to see what was in Moffat's head, because she was having visions of, like, New York ballerina in the 20s, 30s for a reason. Like, I don't know why she's got the psychic powers that she's going to get stuck in New York in the asylum with the Daleks, but it was in there. So Moffat had some stuff that he had to say that didn't say. He kind of created a little subplots there, and it's like, what are you trying to say, dude? Also the subplot with the minisodes where the Doctor already lost the Ponds, but he's on an adventure with them anyway. Like, you got that impression where he knows what's happening. He's like, oh, yeah, our time is going to whatever. And, oh, you guys are supposed to have been broken up. He said something to the effect, oh, you're still together or something. Remember that? They're laying in bed and, like, whatever. So, like, there's always that thing that, what if it's a thing where, like, the Ponds are gone, but he just went back in time and had adventures with them? I mean, that could have happened. Like, that whole Series 7 could be totally skewed out of order, whatever. I mean, we don't even know,
It could be. I mean, there are ways around it.
Yeah. But I would fix the Ponds, and we know that Moffat was going to fix the Ponds.
Yeah.
I mean, he just stopped. Whatever reason.
I would like to see him check in on Donna, too, at least.
Well, that's the next part of my conversation. Yeah. The Donna thing has to be reversed, too.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, why do you reverse everything? No, you can't reverse everything. But the reason why the Donna thing needs to be reversed is because now we see that there are villains out there that just screw with the Doc. We've seen that the Daleks, on a whim, just kidnapped Rory and Amy on Earth to screw with the Doctor, right? So anybody at any time could just go to Earth, and just, oh, hey, Donna Noble, and just screw with her, mention the Doctor, and she'd blow up, right? Because that's what he said. She remembers the Doctor, she'll burn. She'll blow up. Now, why would she burn? Why would she blow up? I mean, if the Time Lord consciousness in her can handle the human brain and the human heart, why would she blow up? There's a reason why she would blow up. And that's because she has the damn regeneration energy in her that would make her explode, because one heart cannot contain, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is my theory that you need 2 hearts for regeneration, but then the River thing confuses me because maybe she has 2 hearts. I don't know. Or maybe not. But anyway, let's just stick with this. That's another cast. There you go. 2 more. All right. So Yeah, because I want to talk about the river thing too, because she went to ancient Gallifrey to study the language, and that's a whole other thing that you probably know. It's a high council. Well, whatever. All right. Anyway, so where were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Donna Noble. Right. So Donna Noble has to be fixed because again, a villain could go in the past, mess with her, and she'd blow up complete. So, and there's a reason why. Like people don't really realize it, but she has one regeneration. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why she has a regeneration is because if the regeneration energy is not completed where the face changes, it's still there. Moffat proved this because Capaldi held back the damn regeneration energy. He exploded the damn friggin' whole thing. And it's like, in other words, I think with the regeneration energy, right? In order for it to be complete, he has to change the face. And if you say, well, how is he using up so much energy? I think it's like a battery. I think that because he doesn't complete the regeneration, it recharges or something, right? So because of Capaldi, what happened with Capaldi, I can definitively say with 100% certainty in my mind that Donna Noble has one regeneration. And that's the regeneration that wasn't complete because it created the Metacrisis Doctor, but it did not change the face. It did not complete the cycle. And it's in her. You understand?
Yeah.
Does that make any
Yeah,
sense?
that makes sense. Well, because David Tennant, when he started to regenerate, he put the extra regeneration energy into his hand.
Right. So you used up probably a fraction of it. And then another fraction created another David Tennant Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
but it was never completed.
Yeah,
And that's the whole thing. It wasn't completed. So when he says like, "Oh, I have no more regenerations in Time of the Doctor," that's the one he doesn't have. And you're like, "Well, it doesn't count because he didn't." It's there in Donna Noble. That's why. I mean, you could say, "Oh, there's his regeneration in Metacrisis Doctor," whatever. But no, look, he lost that regeneration. It's in Donna Noble. So technically, if you wanted to really go crazy and say something happens and the Doctor loses his regenerations, he could probably go to Donna Noble and take it somehow with technology or whatever Gallifreyan science.
but
He could probably.
how would he be able to do that though without her knowing? Because if she does know,
She could be sleeping. Well, let me ask you a question, right? How could Donna Noble burn up with the human brain, right? With the regeneration energy, like how could she can't handle all the Gallifreyan stuff in the human brain, right? With one heart. If the Metacrisis Doctor could do that,
that's a good point.
why isn't the Metacrisis Doctor brain exploding?
Because he's not fully Time Lord though.
No, he's human. He's human.
Yeah, he's human.
But he has the Time Lord consciousness in him. Mm-hmm. So why isn't it exploding?
That's a good point. I never thought of that.
That's why you need to do a story. Because the story could be that he's dying too. Technically, in theory, I know that they had a convention recently and they speculated, Billy Piper and David Tennant, that their relationship would be miserable because they can't travel to time and space and whatever happened in there, right? But that's not, they're not writers. That's not, they're just guessing that, but that's not what the vision of whatever it is that, they created like Russell T. Davies for it, right? Like what he really thinks. Because whatever Russell T. Davies thinks, that's what really is with the Metacrisis Doctor, right? But technically, the Metacrisis Doctor should be dying. Because if Donna Noble's dying and he got to erase her memory or something like that, whatever, then the Metacrisis doctor could be the same way. But the only difference with the Metacrisis doctor is you can't erase his memory. Who could erase his memory? Himself? But then he'll just be an ordinary human, and what will be like that? So technically, he could die, no?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he would.
Or maybe he wouldn't, because the regeneration energy is in Donna Noble. And maybe that's going to be the thing that makes her explode. We already seen her use it to defend herself against the Master. She hit the Master with the regeneration energy. Just like the Doctor has used the regeneration energy to blast the Daleks. So Donna Noble blasted the Masters. Remember when, like, in the end of time? So, you know, she's got to get that out of there. I mean, basically, he has to do something. He has to take the regeneration energy out of her. He has to restore her memory, but take all that Time Lord stuff out of there. And he should be able to do that eventually. But maybe give the regeneration to David Tennant's Metacrisis doctor.
Because she's still, technically, isn't she still the Dr. Donna? To a certain point, yeah. Because she bought that book for her grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all this stuff, the regeneration energy. So she's still Dr. Donna.
Yes. But also, there's the horror side of it, too, because she's not meant to exist that way.
Right.
Like, she's changed as a human being, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like he said, he killed her. Like, by erasing her memories, you're killing her, who she is. Now, he didn't really erase her memories. He kind of blocked her from her memories because she started remembering an end of time. Remember that?
Yeah.
So the memories are there. He's just buried, right? But that's got to be fixed because what's happening is she maybe wouldn't have married that guy. Like her whole life is a lie.
Right.
And she's not happy. Even though she's with the guy, she's not really happy. Because
she changed with her trips with the doctor. She's changed. And then after what happened, boom, she goes right back to where she used to be.
Right? And also, you got the impression that she would search for that guy that she was in love with from Thomas and Larbury, First and Dead, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll find you. I promise I'll find you. Remember that? So, like, she doesn't love this guy. It's just, she's settling.
Yeah.
And even Wilfred said, like, I mean, basically, they're settling with each other. They're not happy. They're just being with each other, so she's not alone, you know? But what if, like she's always, it's gnawing at her soul, you know? Like, something's there that I can't remember. Just like Amy Pond, it was, you know, did I have somebody that I can't remember, like Rory, you know? So it's always going to be that way. She's going to be looking out the window always. And that's a horrible thing. That's like torture. It's like a tragedy. It's like, so what if this causes her now? Now, here's the thing. Another scenario why this should be fixed. Technically, if she didn't learn her lesson and she didn't evolve as a human being to save people and everything, and if she was the way she was, wouldn't she, now that she's a millionaire, would she become evil? Because she's angry and something's missing?
She could possibly.
I mean, they could create a Christmas Scrooge thing based on that, like, I always wanted to see the storyline where he has to battle a companion.
Yeah.
Where she's like the guy that, you know, Nesmith, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Propel the gates! Remember, like the whole thing with the end of time? So she could be like, you know, doing something and the doctor's like, oh yeah, this is my fault. Damn it. You know, like, how is he going to deal with it? He created the whole situation.
He did.
So, like, he can't kill her. He can't, I mean, how would you do that? So that's the thing, like, making her rich, yeah, but maybe there's always that possibility. What if she would turn? And then he's like, this is not you, this is not you. What do you mean this is not me? This is my life. This is what I built up. Yeah, but you shouldn't have had that life. Why not? Because I erased your memories in the first place. What? You know, it'd be like,
Yeah, because
yeah,
he's got to tread the fine line without her knowing what he's doing or who
right.
he is.
You have to fix it.
But he has to fix it. Yeah.
It's a thing where, and again, you could say, oh, you don't have to fix it, but what we've seen after Russell T Davis, the way people were screwing with the doctor, right? You have to fix it because people will go to Earth messing with people.
Mm-hmm.
The Daleks didn't care, like just beaming them out of there, right? I mean, like, so Missy showing up. I mean, Missy would kind of like know what's fine. I mean, somehow, right? She probably has a TARDIS or whatever, right? So she'd
Oh
probably
yeah.
be like, Missy would be like, hey, I don't have any regenerations. I remember when you blasted me. So, it would be like a thing like that. Listen, if Missy was out of regenerations, right, and she's alive and she needs another one, and she can't go to Gallifrey, where would you go shopping for regenerations? There's only one person that has regeneration. That's Donna Noble.
Yeah.
So she would remember getting blasted at end of time and saying, wait a minute, why does she have that energy?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
Missy would go after her. The Daleks probably would go after her because Davros remembers her, and she's kind of one that defeated Davros. So
Yeah.
I would think he would find a way to find her. Okay? Maybe. Especially it's like Davros is now super young or healed or I don't know what he is now. Because maybe he's within hours of regeneration cycle because didn't he get all that regeneration energy? So
He
he was
did.
probably still regenerating when the doctor left, which means that if he really did have the regeneration energy, he should be able to walk and he should be able to. We should see a different Davros next time,
Yeah,
in
we
theory.
should.
I mean, the regeneration energy don't work like that, where it's just, oh yeah, you're younger now. No, he's gonna be able to have his feet. He's gonna be able to walk because that's what it does. It heals you. It doesn't stop at a certain point, so it's gonna heal him completely, where he could walk again and he could see again, and he's gonna look human. So I know any regeneration energy that stops halfway. I mean, this isn't like a
Yeah.
half and half regeneration like milk, 2% and then half and half regeneration. So,
Right.
there you go. I just blew your mind with all this stuff, right?
Yeah, some stuff I didn't even think about. I'm like, oh yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, that's why I hope I answered you, David Blythe, and I hope you guys enjoyed like these extra casts that we're doing. I did promise people in the comment section yesterday because they were like they really want me to get back to and sometimes we have a little nonsense going on. I joke around, but I kind of made up for it with a couple of Whovians thrown in there. So hope you guys enjoyed this cast. And we'll probably have a few more, being that I'm off today. But I'm going to be venturing out at some point in time. So, all right. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take it. Bye for now.